Andersen.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to channel Andersen, and welcome to a video where I'm going to shove in a bunch of stuff from the last few months that have basically been sitting as separate videos, and I just don't have time for it. So we're going to jam pack a whole bunch of adventures into one, 2 junkyard trips, and a catch up at the end to tell you guys how overwhelmed I am with all the things going on here at Andersen HQ. We've got parts out the yin yang, we've got cars out the yin yang, and yeah, it's overwhelming, but it's all a blessing and I'm taking it all in stride. So we will head over to the junkyard now. This first part of the video is going to be us picking up some parts for our GL550. Once we're done with that, I will jump back here to meet you guys for debriefing, and then we will continue on to the second junkyard trip of the video, where we ended up finding a W204 C63 AMG in the yard, which was incredible. With that said, I'll meet you guys over at the junkyard for the GL550. All right, you guys, and one of the main things we're going for is that red battery screen will pop up every once in a while. Very sporadic when it does it, but it's something obviously we'd like to solve because it's not supposed to be happening. It does have an aftermarket head unit, which I do think may be related, just depending on how they did the wiring. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons we're gonna go today, to try to figure out some pieces, like a nav unit, like the cables, to get rid of that. All right, guys, we landed. Mike is with us. Mr. Big Block Mike is here.
No big blocks out here.
For those that have been around for the channel, the last time we were here together, it's a traumatic experience. Not really. We pulled the M113K, which was not the hard part, but the hard part was wheel bearing it out of where we were at. It was a brutal day, but today should be much lighter. We'll take you guys around, see what we find, and hopefully get some good parts out of it. All right, I didn't look up the lot numbers, but the GLs should be fairly easy to see. But if I don't see them soon, I will look it up. I'm guessing it's going to be over here. And of course, you guys know I love all cars, so that's not it, right? No, it's a Subaru. If we find anything else cool, we'll of course show you guys. All right, there's one right here. Is that the other one next to it? No. Alrighty. Don't look good?
Oh no, the inside might be all busted up.
These do have the same mirror types, don't they?
Interior, right?
This is a random little piece that I need right here.
What is that?
A little plastic trim.
Huh.
It broke. That's why it's missing off of my car. Okay, trunk hatch. Oh, of course. Dang it. I need the struts and I need the little trim underneath that. Oh, this one's got mud flaps on it. It's kind of cool. All right, I gotta look at my list. Oh, there's the other one. And this hatch is open. See if the struts are actually good. Damn, this thing got hammered in the back.
What's that?
This thing got hammered in the back. The struts are good though. Okay, that's like $100 saved right there. And it's black interior. We're off to a good start. See if this thing is in better shape. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, I think a couple things.
So we take the struts off and Close this down on us.
Yeah. All right, let us look through here, guys. Okay, guys, we might have found something cool here. This might have been a Grand Edition, because I believe only those got the locking diffs, which would make sense as to why I think it might be torn out of the front. It looks like it is. That's pretty crazy. They're really rare.
This wheel.
Oh, that's a nice wheel.
Race line.
That's what I used to have on the black car, the E420. Similar style.
Multi-bolt pattern.
Yeah.
It's just gone now.
Normally, unless I'm just wrong, I'm not remembering correctly, but I'm pretty sure that's got to be lock and diff, and unless you could factory order them, but the Grand Editions would have the badging on the side and this doesn't. Strange. I'm also curious, we can't get the driver's side door open. Maybe from the inside. I don't know if the seats are the same. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this one's nicer than mine. Needs to be cleaned up, but mine is torn right here. Oh,
It's got some stuff in the middle of it.
never mind. Alright. Alright, well, let me just start picking off the pieces. Oh, I do need these for the center. Mine are busted. There's a little, there's like 3 prongs you have to get to with a small screwdriver, small pick. This thing might be worth getting. I just need a new knob for it.
If you can just...
I don't know, what do you guys think? They're really easy to get and everything's already out. It's just 2 T20s and it just slips out after you pop these clips up. I'll look up what that will cost. Oh, nice. I need that. And free money. And a key. Alright, be right back, guys. Okay, guys, check the prices. These ones are not in that good a shape. I just looked at the other 450 over there. Not the right in color interior, but this is all the same and a right wood trim. And it has both and they're way better shape. So I'm not even gonna mess with these. Just looked on eBay. Typically, these go for like $120. They're $42.99 here at the Junkyard, so definitely worth grabbing. I'm gonna grab that 100%. And this lower tray off of this car, since the steering wheel is not much better than mine, I'm not gonna bother with that. I guess, I mean, I could refinish this one a little better because it's not chewed up on the edges here. I'll see what they cost, I guess, because I can reuse my buttons are in better shape in this one. But off of this one mainly, I guess we'll grab the struts. I needed the trim that's down here, but this one's obviously destroyed. And aside from that, I'll look at my list. But yeah, oh, this is what we need. How did I forget about that? Let me get the cables. If it's still here, which it doesn't look like it is actually, a negative cable, which might have to grab it off the other one. All right, back to work. All right, guys, I got that lower tray out of the other one, perfect shape. Got the struts off of this car. I found one of the side chrome pieces. I'm probably gonna end up leaving this, to be honest. Rear DVD player cover trim was loose on mine. I got that. I found the remote for the DVD system, which I don't know if it'll pair with my car or not, but kind of worth grabbing. The other knob was in better shape than this one, but it had a cracked screen, so I grabbed the knob off of it. This one is in fairly good shape. It's dirty, but if it works, it'd be... All right, guys, I got cut off, but as I was saying, more importantly, we'll be able to get all the wiring. I want to basically chop those off just in case I need any of the harnesses. I don't know what they did to install the aftermarket head unit in my car. And right here, I also do need, not the rear view mirror, but my ball joint is very loose on the mirror itself. So I don't know if I can just like snag the little plastic piece out of here. So I'm going to try to attempt that. And then also these vents are in good shape compared to mine, so I will probably snag these as well. Hard to see in here, but from watching a video, I guess there's like 3 little clips that attach to these, so if I can get these out in one piece, those would also be some good snags. So let's see what we can do here. And whoever was in this car was definitely enjoying you know, no sticks, no stems. So yeah, if you know what that means. Okay, this thing is out. The one thing that I don't know for sure is if these are the same units with or without reverse cameras, because this car does not have one. But there was, ooh, you know what, I can see there's an extra port here, but it has no plugs in it. So this makes me wonder if this will actually work in my car, as if it doesn't, and it doesn't have the reverse camera, there's no point, because that would be silly to swap out for the aftermarket unit one that does right now and not be able to have it with this. So I will try to confirm that before we leave here. Okay, so from looking online, it looks like it might be one of these connectors, either the yellow, black, or blue. And chances are, if they have the aftermarket unit in there, either they ran their own wiring entirely or they splice into these. So I'm going to cut these off so I have them just in case, as well as this connector just to have, and we'll go from there. All right guys, so out of what they've had on our list, we got the nav unit, got the lower console tray, steering wheels are not worth grabbing, rear bumper trims non-existent, got the hatch struts, side mirrors, I mean, these are okay, but they seem a little messed up, so I'm gonna wait on that. Oh, I do need to check on the exhaust tip for that GL450 over here. The one on this side is kind of bent up. Negative battery cable, negative on that, unfortunately, which is a big one I really wanted to find. Neither of them had the aux batteries in here. Center console lid on this one is terrible compared to mine. No AC low port cap. Let's check on that rear view mirror. I already got this, so let's check on the center vents, rear view mirror, and then we can check on the exhaust tips. Center vents also acquired, guys. Mine have broken little tabs right there, so grab those. Alright you guys, pretty cool car sitting here that Mike found. 72 Satellite, it's a 4-door. Fun fact, one of my favorite muscle cars, not these but earlier, like 67 and the 2-doors. Satellites are one of my favorite muscle cars and I'd love to own someday, but even the 4-door is pretty cool for a cruiser. But just kind of crazy that something this complete and this straight with no real rust apparently is just sitting here, full motor and everything, and the transmission's still here.
AC car?
Yeah, crazy.
Look at that. No fender wall rust, no nothing.
Yeah.
Huh. Crazy. Yeah, that's it, 4-door.
All right, well, we got pretty much everything I wanted besides a few things, but I think buddies down in California where these are a lot more present will be able to help me out with those last few things. So I'll tell you how much the damage is when we leave. All right guys, final damage was 109, which I think pretty good. Even the struts alone, they're in pretty good shape, and those would have been like 80 bucks if I buy them brand new. All the little vents, the radio was $42. These are different than the ones I had, I already knew that, but if I switch both of them out, I mean, it's not a big deal to me. These are not too fancy or too special, so I don't really care. But yeah, let's head home and probably start plugging some of these parts on in this episode. All right, so you saw all the things that we picked up. Let me go catch you up on what exactly we got. All right, so we're gonna get into the mess that's in the garage right now, but essentially we grabbed the stock nav, we grabbed this little tray at the bottom, a few other little pieces, some of which have been installed, like our strut hatches, and a few little tidbits like these little things that I ended up finding that I needed. And interior wise, we ended up deciding that we're gonna keep our aftermarket head unit. The main reason why I was gonna swap that out is because I had this red battery light that was popping up on the screen like I showed you guys, but we were able to figure that out, and I will tell you guys what it was. Well, at least to the best of my knowledge. So after fixing a few things, discovering that the rear had a bunch of corrosion and the hatch module and all that stuff was destroyed, we cleaned out the SAM. You guys saw that video. I dried everything out and made sure everything was staying dry in the back. And after a while, we were still driving it, still getting that random red battery light popping up on the dash just intermittently throughout us driving it. I've checked the voltage, I checked the alternator was charging, I checked the battery, like everything was good. I swapped out the ground cable for the battery, which we weren't able to find at the junkyard. I bought it aftermarket on eBay, an OEM one, and everything was looking good as far as battery goes. So I was really confused on what it could be. Well, I got bored and curious one day. I hopped on to the launch scanner and ended up just going through all the modules, checking what codes were still remaining. There was a bunch of codes for the rear SAM. There was a bunch of codes for all types of other stuff. Cleared everything out, let it go for a little bit, came back a few weeks later and did the same thing. And then I actually went into a couple of the modules and just started checking, like learning adaptations and reprogramming a few things. There was a few weird things that stood out, like, you know, there were certain modules that had forgotten what chassis it was supposed to be for, which could have been due to the water intrusion, I think specifically for the SAM. And then things like the sunroof needed to be relearned, and a few other things. And I wasn't expecting it to fix the red battery light whatsoever, but I redid everything, programmed a few modules, like I said, cleared all the codes again, and to my surprise, drove it that day and no battery light. And it's been 2 weeks since I did that and no battery light. So that issue officially has been solved, which I'm really grateful for, because that was really like the only thing since getting this thing that was making me a bit apprehensive. You know, it's not a good feeling to have a random red battery light popping up on your screen when it's your family hauler and you got everybody in the car, and it's just, yeah, it wasn't good. So really relieved to have that figured out. And that was really a big player in the fact of like, am I going to keep this thing? Because I thought that the red battery light was coming from this or something that they installed aftermarket that wasn't done correctly. But thankfully it's not. So this thing is going to stay. My wife and I really enjoy it. It's just easy. It's got Apple CarPlay, all that stuff, all the modern amenities. I don't like that they added a second reverse camera, which is kind of stupid. I wish they would have just tapped into the OEM one, but I get why they didn't. And then this charge port works. The XM radio is here. We're never going to use that. It's not bothering me that it's there, but I may put our regular tray back down there since we do have it. And then really the main other thing that we need to find is just, I'll find eventually a nice steering wheel, or I'll redo this one. So that's really the biggest thing left, along with the fact that we still need to find a rear hatch module, because as you can see, these work, but you got to really like pull them up with muscle, and then it kind of will sag a little bit. But I'm mad that when we were at the junkyard, I didn't even check if those rear hatch modules were there or not, because I hadn't discovered that this thing, you know, had that issue. So next time I find one in the yard, we'll go try to grab one. And that's about it for this thing. So it's been amazing. I love driving this thing. It's an awesome rig. So if you guys are curious about these or interested in picking up a decent family vehicle, family hauler, you can find these at really great prices, 450s, 550s. So highly recommend. That said, let's go on our second junkyard adventure, and you guys can find with me the white C63 that we found at the junkyard before I had sold my C63. And what I had in mind specifically was swapping out the interior on my C63, which you guys know we've now sold, so that didn't end up happening, but it was still cool finding the C63 from the junkyard, and we did end up snagging some things. So stay tuned for that part of the adventure coming up now. Welcome to another junkyard adventure. We are here today in the GO550 at Brave and Metals up in Lake Stevens area, for those familiar. And we came to check out a C63 actually. Somebody gave me a tip on Instagram. Thank you to you for doing that. Local person told me there's a 204 C63 here. Specifically what I'm looking for, it has black interior. I would like to grab all of it potentially, to, if I decide to swap the light interior on my 63, that's there. Or I could put the front seats into the CLK 55 and make it like a CLK 63 Black Series, because they have the same seats as a C63 for those that don't know. And a bunch of other goodies if the brake calipers are still there, ECU, other stuff. So anyways, enough talking. Let's get in there, see what we find. All right, guys, we got our map, and might I just say, right off the bat, much friendlier entrance to the place. It's typically got to deal with some disgruntled people at the pick and pulls. I already see a C-Class over here. Good news, guys, also, which I figured might be the case, they have a GO550 here, because I need the rear hatch module and the pump. They also have a coupe. They have a sedan, some kind right here. Got all kinds of stuff, so let's go check things out. It looks like no C63, but I've got something here. All right, you guys, I'm not joking. I walked by and through the lot probably like 10 times right now, thinking, Where the heck is this thing actually? It's actually here. Motor's gone, obviously. It'd be gone in the first 15 minutes it was here. If it was off the ground, the rotors are still here, but somebody got the calipers. But look at this. We've got full interior and the seats are actually in good shape. It has the same wood trim as mine, so in theory, I don't think I'm gonna grab the door cards, but we could. But I definitely want to get these seats. Yeah, even the rears are not bad. I mean, everything's dirty, but I think we're gonna send it, guys. Start ripping some stuff out. All right, guys, first back seats loaded up. I'm in a rush right now, so I am getting this stuff together. I gotta get my tools, get the wheelbarrow, go back in. This set was 30 bucks. The two fronts are 40 bucks each, so killer deal. I'm gonna go try to get them. I don't know if I can. Whoever was sitting in the car last just had to put both the seats all the way back. So hopefully. All right, guys, well, thank you, Sam MG. Thank you, ChatGPT. And thank you, Jake Sousa. And Savo, I was like, called you. Oh my God, I was calling in for reinforcements, sending out the bat signal, trying to figure out what to do. I was looking on ChatGPT. I was like, okay, how else can I get the seat out? Told me unscrew the bottom bolts, which Jake also told me right after. Took the top seat cushion off, can access the motor now. And I don't think I'll be able to do this. Let me see if I can for the one time for you guys. Look at this. Got him, coach. All right. So now we can access our bolts. I already took the front ones out, so we only need to move forward and we are good to go. Let's freaking get these seats. All right, you guys, just got this one free as well. Gonna snag it out of here, load this up and hit the road. All right, you guys. Oh my goodness, man. Seats loaded up, back on fire. Let's get out of here. All right, well, if you're at this part of the video, that means you just got done at the junkyard finding that white 63 and saw that we were able to collect the black interior out of it. At least the pieces that we wanted. The main things, the front seats and the rear seats. And now that we're back home, you guys can see the absolute tornado that the garage is right now. I have parts galore, boxes and boxes of stuff that we'll get into. I'll give you guys a brief preview of what's going on here at HQ because you guys stuck around at the end of this video, so I feel like it's due. But the main pieces, yes, we snagged both front seats, which honestly are in really good shape. There's a little bit of like leather fading and stuff, which we can easily repair, but no cuts, no rips, no nothing, and they still feel great, nice and supple still. So the plan is, and let me know what you guys think, but I would like to put these in the CLK. Now, the stock seats that are in this thing are in really good shape. They got a little bit of like dry cracking on the center sections, which is common for that kind of pattern on the leather. But I mean, other than that, they're in really good shape. So I don't want to just do it just to do it, but CLK 63 Black Series came with these seats factory, so it'd be cool to figure out how that mod would be done. We're gonna have to do some stuff to the modules underneath, how to get everything working correctly without, you know, SRS lights and stuff like that. I don't know, but it would be a fun project to dive into, so let me know if you guys would like to see that. The rear seats, now that RC63 has sold, I don't really have any use for, so I put them on Facebook Market for like 80 bucks. Nobody's bitten on them yet, so I might end up just tossing them, which is a shame. So if you are local and you need a set of black seats for your 204 in the back, they're in really good shape. They're just dirty right now, but yeah, let me know if you guys need something. All right, and now that we're done with all the junkyard business and past all that, the little Easter egg for you guys at the end of the video that stick around and actually watch my videos through and through, I'll give you guys a brief rundown of what's going on with each car real fast, like 10-second, 20-second updates. E420 has got a boatload of parts coming at it. Unfortunately, I do think the water pump might be cooked, and on these M119s, it's a big job. You got to pull the crank pulley, and for that reason, I am trying everything I can to see if there's something else going on that could be it, and if not, we might just throw a 5-liter in it, to be honest, as I don't want to do that crank pulley job, and if I do, we're going to have to rip a bunch of stuff off. I don't know. I'm really considering just throwing the 5-liter in there, finding a good one, building it on the stand, and then throwing it in there once it's ready. So that's where it's at. Other than that, it's good. We've got a bunch of parts laying around for it, and I got some plans that I'll talk about here briefly too. CLK has been great. I did a whole round this morning of just going over each one of the cars, driving each one of the cars to get the batteries up to spec. This thing was on like 11 volts. I had to charge it for a little bit, got it back up to spec, drove it, took it out to deliver some packages this morning from anderson.co that people order parts for. And then ML55, we got this thing out again. It seems like the transmission issue was kind of a fluke. I've cleared the codes. I've driven it multiple times. It's doing good. And yeah, I'm going to get back into that thing. The valve cover on the passenger side is leaking from the back right corner, which is disappointing. So we just did them not too long ago. So I'm going to try to basically undo the bolts, retighten them, or take it off and just make sure the gasket's not pinched back there. C55, unfortunately, guys, that NLP battery that we got from Noco, it doesn't have enough amp hours to stay charged for, multiple days sitting. It works great when it's, 40 degrees or above, and it's incredibly lightweight and cost efficient, is amazing for all those things, but it's just not enough to let me enjoy this car reliably all the time, with letting it sit for 3, 4, 5 days and then getting in and not thinking about, is the battery charged? That's why we got rid of the Odyssey battery, and unfortunately I thought the Noco was going to be able to do the job, but it's not up to it. So we got some things in mind with that. We'll get into it shortly, but that's it for the C55. It's doing good otherwise. 190E, I'm waiting on the ECU from Josh still. He's getting close, and we are going to look over the Star Diagnostics, the wiring diagram, so that I can start preparing things to tie in with the M111 standalone that we're building out of the Siemens ECU. So that's kind of where it's at. It's just kind of been chilling. Once I get things cleared out in the garage, I want to get this thing back into the garage so we can take the rear subframe down, do the bushings, do the rear coilovers, do the rear brakes, all of that stuff, and just kind of get this thing back rocking, because it looks amazing. It's come a long way, but it's still got a lot to go. And then the C36, when I was doing my runs this morning, I realized the battery was completely flat. I left the door open one night when I was talking to Josh from MSS out here. We were just chatting about different plans and whatnot, and I was sitting in the car, and when I left that night, I left it partially open on accident. The interior light was on, battery went totally flat. So I got it on the Noco charger right now. It's thinking about what it wants to do. It was charging earlier. It looks like it's not charging now, actually. So we'll have to see if I can revive this battery. If not, it's like 6 or 7 years old, 6, 7. It's like 6 or 7 years old. So I might have to swap it out. Other sneak peek, we finally started diving into the M113K a little bit more. Well, I have been off scenes. I just haven't shown you guys a bunch of stuff, but it looks really good. This is the Junkyard motor. Really, really good for an unknown M113K. I'm totally happy with it. We did clean up the whole block, and I have a video on that, and I'm kind of documenting as I'm going. So I'll release a video once I, have it where I want it to go. I'm going to do the oil pan reseal here next, because I learned last time I did the valve covers first, and then I ended up flipping the motor, and then it just got everything all oily. So I will do the oil pans. Once I have that, the O-ring for the oil pump. And then once those are done, we can redo our valve covers, start putting everything back together, making it look like a motor again, and then kind of reveal what plans we have for it from there. That's the gearbox for the 190E, the inline 7/16s. And then we just got a brand new Tremec gearbox, guys. Okay, no, just kidding. Somebody just used this. Shout out to Lewis. He sent me basically a whole kit from the East Coast via Delta Cargo, which was excellent. So this is a SLK 350 trans that he had lying around. He was going to swap his SLK 55, ended up selling the car before he did. So he basically sold me all the parts that he had collected for it for a really good deal. So we've got double sets of pedals specific to R171. We've got a shifter specific to R171. We've got a brand new clutch kit, a Luck clutch kit, and a manual gearbox. So we will keep this in the stash. Basically, I just picked them up yesterday. That's why they're just sitting here. Haven't organized anything, as well as the rest of the garage. We have all bunch of parts for the E420, M111 supercharger that we need to get to the bolt out so we can fill it up with fluid. We've got more E420 parts in the bigger box below there. We've got W211 clutch pedals and shifter and more E420 parts. So the garage is an absolute hurricane right now. We've got stuff like right there from our hutch inside of our house that we've been repainting. So yeah, guys, for those of you out there watching that have children of your own and have had one and then two and maybe more after that, going from 1 to 2 is a big jump, and it keeps you very, very, very busy. It's different than just one. And even when you just have one the first time, that's a lot. So it's all relative, but it's been, you know, a big adjustment for all of us to try to figure out what is our schedule like, when can I do this, when can I do that. So that's why the garage is basically just a room full of boxes right now, just waiting for me to have the time to really dive in and get these things done. So this video is essentially my chance to catch up with you guys as far as videos go. You saw the Junkyard Adventures, you saw the parts that I have sitting here waiting to go on all the cars, and we have probably 5 or 6 videos right now that are in the middle of being edited or in the process of being filmed. So there's stuff coming your guys' way. I'm trying to stick to like every Monday or every Wednesday, at least once a week for a video right now, just because, like I said, our schedules are way thrown off, getting adjusted to 2 little ones now in responsibility that we were responsible for, my wife and I. So yeah, it's an adjustment, but it's been amazing and no complaints at all. This is an awesome journey to be on, and to be at where we're at with the fleet, the cars that we have collected, I'm just really, really stoked on it. To have the E420 back, the 124, I'm so happy with all the cars that we have here right now. It's just a matter of getting them to where I want them to be as far as like builds go. So we're getting there. And one other thing, guys, I was looking and looking for wheels on Facebook Market and all over, brand new wheels, used wheels, everything. I was looking all over the place, and I just have not been able to find something that I really like for the 124. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I have the SL55 5 spokes out here. And honestly, I think we might go with these for the 124. They're a bit big, but I think we can make them fit. As long as we can fit them in the front. I know we can fit the rears, but we'll see. I got a Motorsports Hardware lug stud kit. We're going to convert it. We'll do the brakes on it, and we'll see if we can get these to fit. If we can, great. If we can't, we'll keep looking for what's out there that I will like the look for. But yeah, we've been hanging on these for a while. I bought these for like 150 bucks almost 2 years ago now, and I've just been sitting on them until I found a right use for them, and maybe the 124 is it. So let me know if you guys would like to see the 5 spokes on the 124. Maybe I'll pop up a little mock-up right now. I have a few different options. All right, guys, that said, speaking of being busy with 2 kids, I got to get back to real life. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to jam pack a bunch of stuff in here, and I hope you guys are all doing well. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. And of course, as always, if you guys got any questions, anything you want to chat about, things you saw in this video, things you saw in other videos, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you guys. You can email me, andersen.amg@gmail.com. You can check out the parts store, andersen.co, or find me on Instagram at andersen_co. So I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Andersen.